Hi. Hello.
Hot-footed there, Vinny, well done. That's what she moved in a while. Okay, is everyone ready? Kick off with Simon, just to change the pattern.
Apparently I'm leading today. So hello and good morning, thank you for this. When you played at Wembley against Spurs last time, you said about you learned probably more in that defeat than maybe you had in other ones. So is that perhaps reason to worry about Spurs and their last match when they lost against Watford? And what do you learn in games like that?
Okay, it was a very difficult game for us because we made two big mistakes around there. The first two goals especially. Came a bit better up in the game then, made our goal. Yeah, but lost at the end, completely deserved. But this is this kind of game which can develop in this or this direction. So we had one or two of these games. It was a bit like City, if you want, last year away, when we lost Sadio and then the game. We had our moments like in pretty much all the other games, but we were, I think it was after we won 7-0 at Maribor, is it possible? Yeah. So came there, and we were not used to it, to be honest, to win that high, that comfortable, if you want, and coming then to a place like Tottenham where you have to approach completely different, where you have to play completely different, and so that was for us. It was a kind of a wake-up call, of course, but it was not. It was more a wake-up for the players. It's like we cannot do it like this. I know before that we cannot do it like that, but we have to then. We made a few. We had after that pretty good results, and from that point on, I don't think we conceded a lot of goals. I think City was early in the season. I don't know exactly, but 9 goals in these 2 games, that doesn't feel good. And you know it better than I do. You make a big story of that, and we have to deal with the story, but not with the goals, because we conceded them already. It's not a problem anymore. We can work on from that point, and that's what we did. So yes, of course, we learned. The experience was that one game is and can be and will be completely different from another game like Maribor and Tottenham. Different opponents, different competition, all that stuff. That was clear, and on the other hand side, we knew still that we have a good team, and so for us it was the moment when we. It was not really a problem, but it was a moment. It was when we could show that we are really convinced about what we are doing. We only have to do it more often and in a better way, and then everything will be fine.
There was a big spotlight on Dejan after the first half of that match as well, and yeah, he's gone from there. Some players might have crumbled and never be seen again. He's obviously gone on and played in a World Cup final, and by his own admittance has become one of the best defenders in the world on the back of that as well. So what sort of journey has he made from that first 45 minutes to the World Cup final, and maybe to where he is now given his injury?
Well, he only comes closer to his potential, I would say. Is where he can be. That's how it is. I'm 100% sure. I never was in doubt about that. So. But with this, what people maybe would say about him, that it was in the past, consistency-wise, was not the highest level. It was always very, very good, and then not that good. And but he was, and that's what in this perspective, it was a very important game for him, because. Yeah, he was not good in that game, but I said it after the game. I could have changed 5, 6 other players, but I decided to do that. He didn't like it, obviously, but it helped our relationship as well, because it was one situation. I don't care about if I would judge a player because of 20 minutes in his life, then I wouldn't know any player anymore, because that's how it is. We all have our 20 minutes, I would say. And so that's absolutely not a problem, but for him it was clear, so he has still my 100% support, and we was not even too much talking about these two situations, because they were obvious, and it was only about how and what I think about him, and when he starts thinking the same about himself, then that could help him, because my opinion is pretty high. His opinion was rather average, but meanwhile, I think he has the confidence as well. Unfortunately, he's not fit in the moment. That makes it a bit more complicated to perform, but it's all all good, and he will be back. I'm pretty sure now in that very intense period with 7 games in the next 3 weeks. I'm pretty sure he will be back in this period.
Really?
Yeah, Graham Souness said that he believes that this.
Who?
Graham Souness says that he believes that this is.
I know him. Sorry, it's not. Sorry, I only didn't hear it. Yeah.
Well, he says he believes it's the best Liverpool side that he's seen since the last Liverpool side to win the title. So, what do you believe this squad is capable of now?
First of all, it's obviously very positive, but the only problem sometimes legends have is they want to say something very positive, which he did, and put them immediate pressure on us. Thank you, Graham. Now it's, I don't know. I don't know exactly the team from 1990, to be honest. But I know it's Germany was World Cup winner that year. So, but that's only my problem. No, I have no idea. The thing is, we need to be really good. We need to be really good because all the other teams are so good. So it's not about being the best team. It's about being the best team in a specific game to beat the specific opponent. And that's what we have to do. So yes, the football changed in the last 30 years a lot. Shirts got tighter and the game quicker and no breaks anymore and all that stuff. You cannot compare the football, so you cannot compare really the teams. That's how it is. I don't know who were in the other team or how strong the other teams were in the 90s. But that's really not important to us. We have to be as good as possible to reach the highest for us, whatever it is. I don't know it in the moment, but it's so early in the season that I really don't think it makes any sense to speak about and think about anything what will happen at the end of the season.
I spoke about Dejan as well, and when he's fit. I just wonder what kind of a decision you're going to have to make when he is fit, given the form that Joe Gomez has shown, both for club and country.
It feels like we have 500 games in the next 7 weeks, so I hope I can make decisions. So I really hope I have them all fit, and I don't have to make a difficult decision. The most difficult decisions are when you have no players. And you have to think, okay, how can we deal with that? So, but when you have a lot of players, then you can make decisions, good decisions, and it's rather a luxury problem than anything else. So I really hope he's back as soon as possible. And then we have, when Adam is back as well, Ox takes a little bit longer, of course, then we have the squad together, would mean then the first time. And that's, for us, very, very important for the next few weeks.
How far away is Adam from fitness? And also Simon, is Simon going to be?
Yeah, Simon is okay. Simon trained completely normal. We gave him the rest he needed with the finger issue. It's fine, trained normal, catch balls, all fine. And goalies are pretty hard in that, so they're used to a little pain, hand and finger. So absolutely, really trained good. Adam, on a good way. So it's obviously not too serious, but he's not available for the weekend, and we will maybe not for next week. But then I hope he can be back.
Okay, Juliette?
Yeah, just going back to what you were saying about Dejan and you talking about, you don't judge a player because of 20 minutes of his life. Just out of interest, how much time do you actually spend investing to get to know the squad of players that you have? How much of that time is taken of yours?
It happens all the time. It's my job. So I don't train myself. I don't run around. So I watch them and I judge them and I try to understand why they are, who they are, why they are, how they are, why they're in a good shape today and not in a good shape today, and all that stuff. That's my job. So I think constantly about them. So and I don't think the longer you work together with a player, obviously the better you know him. But it's not that I would say I'm finally through it. So it's just. It's a big part of the job. It's a big part of life, and that's how I understand it. So it's not that I constantly go there and think, I saw, I don't know, a little smile on your face during training, something nice happened last week, or what. That's not like this. So it's just to try to understand. I think really in a family, like in a football club, like with friends, it is always the same. The better you know each other, the more you know about each other, the better is the relationship. So. And the better can it work if you have to do something together, and that's what we try to do. So nothing else.
Anything else?
I was just also wondering, you've only made season, do you take, because you're just referring like 500 games in the next 7 weeks, because of the demanding fixture list that you've got now, are you going to maybe adopt a more rotational approach?
Of course we have to. Of course we have to. We will see how we exactly can do it. So it's a big misunderstanding that we plan the game tomorrow and have and think about the game after that and the game after that. So if you play today, bam, 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 then so it's too complicated. You have to go in the next game and then you see who you can choose for the next game. So that's it. You always try to have your best team, but it's clear with the numbers of games and all that stuff. We get so many informations after a game which you don't have, or maybe you have and don't read, whatever. I'm not sure. But then you will see how the players react in different situations. So of course we have to do that. We have rotate. I don't know if we call it rotation, but the first 4 weeks were pretty. The first 3 games were the same lineup, and then we changed one position. I think it's just to yeah, of course, getting the points, have a good start to create a basis and all that stuff. It's not about looking how is he, and we use the players. They had the longest preseason, pretty much. I think, apart from Bobby, who came pretty late, they all had at least 3 weeks preseason, and it was 2 up front plus Bobby. And then all the others had a normal break pretty much. So that's good. They had a normal break. They started preseason with us, and that's very important. So they were the most stable players in the squad, and that's why we used them. And hopefully we can now. And then after 4 weeks, when it looked quite okay, the fitness level got better and better for one or the other player, then we had to send them away. And then, so now they came back. The last ones came back yesterday. And then today we train, and then we make a lineup for tomorrow. But the other, Mauricio Pochettino has the same issue, so especially for the game tomorrow, that's how it is. And so we all have to make constantly the best of what we got.
Up to the second one, Richard from BBC Northwest.
Hi.
Is there an extra psychological challenge for your players after an international break going into a big game like this? Not just a physical challenge where they might feel a bit jaded from travel, but equally they've been playing different systems, and then they have to click back into what you want and the speed of Premier League football.
It's a big challenge, but how I said, it's for all of us the same. So it's not that Belgium plays exactly like Tottenham, for example, and there were at least 3 players, I think. Denmark is playing completely different to Tottenham, and Eriksen played for them. So it's for all of us. It's for all of us the same. Yeah, it's how I said, it's the life as a Premier League manager is never. During the week's never perfect, because it's not that I have all of them together and then we train and we have 6-7 sessions together and can prepare a game. So from now on we have exactly 1 day to rest, 1 day to prepare, and 1 day to play, and then the same rhythm as well. So it's not about, that's always the challenge for all of us, especially if you are involved in international football. That makes a massive difference. But we have all the same things and so to do, and so it's not a big problem. But for the boys, it's always a big challenge, ask, whatever requested, that they have really, they really have to, remind themselves immediately what we actually do, and that's what we had. Quite a good session yesterday. Cannot do too much because a few of them came out of the plane, but we did a little bit, and then today another one, and then we need to be ready. That's how it is.
Anything else, Rich? No? Good. Okay, Carl.
The strength of your squad means that Fabinho hasn't been anywhere near as good so far. I'm just wondering whereabouts is he now in his progress, and how soon will we like to see him?
Actually, I don't like to compare players, but to be honest, I think we had similar questions and similar things to talk about Robbo, about Oxley, about. Okay, not virtual. It was different, but we had it just like that. Maybe I'm not sure if did Sadio play from the beginning? I'm not sure, but he had a normal preseason, so that's probably yes. So that's it. The thing is, it's absolutely no problem. I don't like the situation. It's not that I like to say Fabinho, who is full of energy, desire, wants to be involved and all that stuff, and then tell him, you are not involved this week, and that's not nice. It's only the job to do sometimes, because we have players that work together now much longer. So he comes from another league, a completely different system, which Monaco played to us, and we have a good team together. So that takes time to be. But the plan was, and is still, that he will make us better, and that's what we are working on. And that needs sometimes more time and sometimes a bit less. But it's all, from my point of view, it's all fine. But I know the situation is not like maybe a few people would have expected. But sorry, I cannot change that.
You mentioned briefly how when you brought Virgil in, he slotted in straight away. There's been a lot of talk about how well Joe Gomez has played this season. The influence that Virgil has had maybe on him and the defence as a whole this season.
Oh, it's always like this. The better your partner is, the better you can be by yourself. It always helps, but it's I don't think that's the. Joe has a big potential, and I'm happy that he performed so far pretty well, but much more interested in his performance tomorrow, to be honest. So that's the thing. So we have to be consistent. We have to deliver week in, week out. So that's the thing. And yeah, of course they both. I think everybody spoke about that already. They like each other, but I can tell you, both of them like Joel and Dejan as well. So, and even Nate Phillips. So that's a good relationship between the boys. So they have no problem with each other. So they like to play together. In this specific case, I'm sure that Virgil's presence helps, of course, Joe. But if Joe would not be a fantastic footballer, he could not use that. So if you play next to Virgil van Dijk, it wouldn't help massively, I would say. Yeah.
Wonderful idea. We'll go across the second row. David, anything from you? No? Glenn?
Jurgen, Gary Neville said Liverpool should kick the Champions League into touch this season to give them the best chance of winning the Premier League. Even though you are top in general, is that something a club like Liverpool can afford to do?
How should that work? What do? We don't play Champions League or what?
Just focus more on the Premier League.
Gary should come over and tell me how that exactly works. So how do you prepare a game when you don't focus on it? You bring your kids in the Champions League, that would be funny. Yeah, I don't know. So what he means with that, to be honest. So we have to play football. I think we will. A lot of people watch our games as well when we play Champions League, and that's our job. That we do the best we can do in all these games, and that's what we try. So we will see. I think. So I don't know exactly what it means, but to focus on one competition can only be if you, on the one hand, maybe you are already out the competition nearly. If it's late in the season that you see you have a chance to do that or do this and all that stuff. But last year, for example, we had no chance to focus on one competition because we had to qualify for the Champions League, and I don't think that even Gary Neville would have said in a quarterfinals in the Champions League, come on, let City win, and so they are anyway champions or whatever. That doesn't work like this. It's a bit, I don't want to be too critical about, because I don't know exactly how he said it, but it's a bit sitting in an office and talking about football is completely different to doing the job, to be honest. But it's an opinion, and maybe. What did you say about Man United in that case, to be honest? I thought it's a club he's more interested in. Nothing.
He was just scared about Liverpool.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go. You're welcome, everyone. Let's go. Thank you.
Welcome.
Jurgen,